Hi, welcome to Juice Bar. Today we're gonna go over the best and worst of 2022. So, another year is over, and let's see what was the best stuff and the least best stuff we made here on the channel, starting from the best. And I'm gonna give you 5 cocktails I discovered or really liked, but not just liked, something I made at least a few times this year. At number 5 we have the white Negroni. I finally discovered the recipe I like with the Fino Sherry and the really nice Aperitivo Bitter Bianco by Luxardo, and that's really good. I will make it even more, if not that the Luxardo Bitter Bianco is so precious because I had to import it, I had to bring it over from Italy because it's not sold here in Japan. At number 4, Old Cuban Highball. So you can tell me, isn't this just a mojito with a bit of sparkling wine added? Kind of, but execution is everything. And this Old Cuban Highball, I made it several times for guests as an aperitif, and it's simply exceptional. It's really nice to drink, fresh, and now that I have so many nice meals outside on my terrace, I make it all the time. It's really, really good. At number 3, the Painkiller. Painkiller, I love. If I have to think about making a tiki cocktail nowadays, it's gonna be a Painkiller. I love the combination of orange juice and coconut milk and the nutmeg on top is just. And number 2, El Presidente. El Presidente get so much right because it's basically Manhattan. I love Manhattans. Manhattan variation is basically what I drink the most all the time. So El Presidente, being a Manhattan variation but made with rum, which I love, it's just so good. I really like it, and since I discovered the homemade grenadine, it's freaking delicious. Do you want to drink an El Presidente? I mean, all the time. And at number 1, l'Aperitivo Marrone. Now, this summer I was in Italy and I had this small gathering of friends on my terrace, and I made for everybody the Aperitivo Marrone, and I couldn't make them fast enough. People were just like blue, 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 because it's so good. And the only problem is, since I came back to Japan, I never made it because you need bergamot juice for the original recipe. But let me try and mix one up using some other juice. So the original recipe had 45 milliliters of bergamot juice. I don't have bergamot juice, but I'm gonna try to approximate it using like some grapefruit juice. And I'm just gonna try and mix it with some Shikwasa juice. Shikwasa juice has a really strong astringency too, like the bergamot, but it doesn't have quite the bitterness. I hope the grapefruit juice will give me some of the bitterness and some of the floral, more perfumey quality of the bergamot. Let's see how this thing tastes. Ah, not bad. It's not as bitter as the bergamot juice. Let's backtrack a second. Before adding the juice, let's start, for real this time, by slicing up some fresh ginger. And now that we have ginger, let's add 45 milliliters of this mixed juice. And then I'm gonna muddle a bit the ginger in the juice to extract some of the gingerness. Then I'm gonna add some simple syrup, and it's gonna be 15 milliliters of simple syrup, 2 to 1. Every time I taste this, I'm shocked how good it is, this mix of 1 part cocktail, 1 part white sugar and 1 part water. Then we need some alcohol. In the original recipe I used the Tanqueray Sevilla orange, which is an orange flavor version of the standard Tanqueray. So I'm gonna use this time this Whitley Neal, which is a blood orange gin. Tastes a lot like orange. And then I'm gonna finish everything with some vermouth. What did I say? Did I say vermouth? Vermouth. I think I got influenced by the Japanese pronunciation of vermouth, which is vermouth. Anyway, so 45 milliliters of red vermouth, antica formula. Let's just give it a quick stir and check the flavor. I think we are on the right track. So what we do next, we get a highball glass. Isn't this ice nice? Perfectly shaped. So yeah, let's strain it in our glass. What the fuck? Let's try it. This time is better. Not perfect yet, but better. Let's make it sit a bit better. And let's top it off with some tonic water. I'm gonna use this tonic water available only in Japan, which is called Neo Premium. It has a bit of shikwasa in it. It's a bit on the citrusy side, but the most important thing is a bit lighter than the normal Fever Tree, and that's also what I used in my original video, something a bit lighter than the normal Indian tonic water. At that time I used a Lurisia water with also some citrus because it has some kinotto, and we are kinda done. Let me just make sure the tonic water gets mixed with the rest of the components. The original also had a slice of orange, but I'm not gonna bother today. And also maybe it's not gonna fit in this glass. Cheers. Oh, it's good, but it's not as good as the original with the bergamot. Once I'm gonna go back to Italy, I'm gonna make that too, but this one is pretty good. Nice, refreshing. Also now it's winter, maybe that's why it feels a bit less good than the one on the terrace in the summer in Italy. Anyway, let's go on. Today I promise you also the worst, but before that, let's talk about the best technique. New segment in this best and worst. I wanted to dedicate this to 3 techniques and also 3 special drinks I made this year. At number 3 we have the Negroni Bar Hi-Fi version. The one where I use the big mixing glass and the big ice to mix a Negroni. That technique I really like, and I use it when I feel like it, when I have a cocktail like a Negroni, a Manhattan, and I just either feel like being a bit of a show-off, or maybe I just have a big rock of ice lying in the freezer and I want to use it. So that's what I do. I pull out the big mixing glass and I twist my drink. You have to wash the big mixing glass, but then you don't really need the spoon if you are careful with what you're doing. Anyway, on to the second best technique, and that will be the flip. I just published my video on La Tiramisu, my version of a tiramisu cocktail, and I love the flip. I was so against the whole egg thing in a cocktail. It seemed so wrong, but then once I tried it, I was just enamored. I really love flips in general, and especially the tiramisu cocktail. And at number one, we have the spicy old-fashioned with the grinding of the spices in a mortar and mixing them directly through the grinding inside the alcoholic portion of your cocktail. That technique is genius. It's easy. You can do it anytime, and you can just do the right amount you need for the cocktail in that moment. So you're not stuck with bottles full of liqueurs infused with something else. I mean, how many times you're gonna use an infused vermouth with chai? I don't know, once, twice? How am I supposed to drink all that stuff? In the end, I like to change the cocktail I drink all the time. So grinding the spices directly into your cocktail, it's a great way to have no waste. It takes more time at the moment, but you don't have to any preparation before. Of course, if you have a bar and you propose your cocktail all the time to clients, go ahead, infuse, distill, do whatever you need. It's way more practical having a bottle already infused. But if you're like me and you do your drinks at home, the pestle and mortar approach work great. Let me have one sip of this. Now it's really time for the worst cocktails of the year. At number 3 we have the French Martini. Just really vodka, pineapple and strawberry syrup. Well, liqueur technically, but boy, that was not my drink. I kinda fixed it a bit with a different recipe, but it was really not my cup of tea. At number 2 worst cocktail of the year, Banker's Lunch. When I did that video, I said I understood where the thing came from, which has, I think, vodka, vermouth and grapefruit juice, but it was not for me. And it was so much not for me that it's one of the few drinks I didn't finish. I always try to drink everything I make. If I cannot drink it in the moment, I put it in a bottle and I maybe serve it at night on the rocks, maybe add some soda if it's not that good anymore. But I try not to waste cocktail. The Banker's Lunch, man, didn't go down. And right after I made the Banker's Lunch, I was like, let's make another video really quick because I need a good drink to rinse my mouth with something good. And at number 1, it's Sex on the Beach. It became the prototypical bad drink for me. It's just that peach schnapps thing. It's so awful. And I was in a really great bar recently and I saw he had a different kind of peach eau de vie on the shelf and I was like, can I try that? Because I'm really wondering, is it just the peach tree thing that ruined my Sex on the Beach? And the fancy eau de vie also was peachy crappy. It's not good. That shit is not good and it shouldn't be allowed in any drink, in my opinion. But now for the really worst drink I had this year. It's kinda outside of competition because I didn't make it. And also it was technically not my drink because it was my wife's drink. But we were in a bar in my hometown and I know better. I stick to beer in that bar or spritz. Those two things are good. But I never adventure in anything else. My wife ordered a mojito. And boy, was everything wrong with the mojito that I say on this channel all the time. It was just cheap rum with mint that tasted like grass. And they had bigger mints than I have here in my terrace, but my mints are so much more tasty. I don't know if it depends on the quality of the mint or how it grows. Maybe in the summer it grows too fast in Italy. I don't know, it was so bad. And that's really the worst drink I had all year. Now we have the best cocktail, the best techniques, the worst cocktail, and I want to leave you with the best video that nobody saw. Only 20 views this morning. It's the Espresso Martini video. Espresso Martini is not my cocktail. Even though in the video I propose a better version, which I call the Decadent Espresso Martini. That was pretty good. But the best part about the video is the after credits part. And because nobody saw it, I'm gonna propose it to you right after the credits. So stay tuned for one of the best rants of the year I made on this channel. So thank you for watching. Hope you had a good 2022 and a happy new year, and best wishes for a nice 2023. Cheers. As much as you try to reach to other people, you could never achieve that. I guess that's the whole point of Christianity, no? With Jesus on the cross, feeling all the sins, all the pain of the world. It's something the man sometimes strive to achieve. You would like to be everyone, just like in that Smashing Pumpkins song. And in my mind, I'm everyone. And it also reminds me of the end of Evangelion, when the whole point for Shinji is to destroy the physical boundaries between himself and the rest of humanity, to feel as one. Losing your own individuality. So what I'm trying to say, there is no way I like vodka in this drink.